Hey there, Hoops fans! How you doing? It's your boy Jonathan Macri with you for the another episode. We made it to episode 2 of NBA Takedown. I am here with my guys, Shawn with a W. Hello, Shawn.
Good afternoon, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations on already getting some people on the internet. Obviously, not only watching and listening to this program, but giving you shit for your takes. We should keep a running tally. Actually, you know what we should do? We should make sure that you manage to piss off every fan base before the end of the year.
Bro,
It's a
listen,
reasonable goal.
I'm it's not reasonable because that will happen by Christmas. So, um
and as for the angel on my other shoulder, I didn't anticipate Jeff J being the person that was going to try to keep us in the good graces of someone, but I could already tell from our text conversations the last 24 to 48 hours, as I've suggested different topics and whatnot, that like Jeff, you are like a good, nice person. I think I knew that, but I don't know that I had fully realized it, you know?
Well, first of all, even the fallen angels are still angels, even if they denounce their place of origin.
Yeah.
I endeavor to be fair. You know what I mean? Like
You
I
do.
want to
You're
be
good at it.
fair and want to make sure that it's not hate for hate's sake, although that can be fun. Cause like I said, no takes are safe, and that includes our own. So I just try to keep the measure with, all right, are we being fair? Are we being rational? Or even if we're being irrational, are we being respectful? Right?
Of
Because I
course,
think that's the
yes.
one thing about takes, and it's a microcosm of what goes on online with parasocial relationships and the way in which folks are so courageous and so proud when there's separation going on. So, one thing I don't have to worry about with y'all up here is that what we say here is what we would say to people if they were in front
This
of us. That's first of all. And
is very true.
secondly, it's like, yo, I have a perspective. I'm bringing reason into it, and I could be wrong. So if you change my mind, I that's one of the key tenets of intelligence is that you don't stick with shit that's wrong. You have that malleability to change when presented with facts that are contrary to your opinion.
It's funny. I've told this has been something I've spouted to my now 9-year-old for like the last 2 years. Like the best sign of an intelligent person is when they say I'm wrong about something, and her little brain can't comprehend that. Which I don't know if what that means for what we're doing to the youth, the troubled youth. But
And you
yeah,
talking to a guy with a 17-month-old who loves no. No does not understand the concept of no because she's a kid, but now no is her favorite word. And she pronounces it in different ways. She has different inflections. Like no is her North Star along with the other 100 words that she's learned.
good habits to get into. Indeed, me and Shawn are here for no parenting advice whatsoever because we don't know what we're doing.
speak for yourself. I know exactly what I'm doing. Which is, I know that doesn't mean I'm doing it well, but I know what I am doing.
Well, you do know what you're doing.
That's profound.
You're doing something. Okay, so we are going to get started right off the bat. And I want to give a big shout out to my guy, Mark Roskis, who look at this. If anybody's watching on YouTube right now, this is graphics extraordinaire. We are moving right into our first topic of the day, which I just want. So we're going to talk a lot about Russ today. But I actually want to start off with a question for the esteemed panel here. And I'm going to pose this question in light of a tweet that was sent out. You can see it on your screen. There's a tweet from NBA Central, which is probably the most popular aggregation Twitter account that is out there. And they're aggregating something that Brian Windhorst said, I'm assuming on his podcast, although I'm actually not sure if this was on his pod or if this was on ESPN, in which he called Russell Westbrook a journeyman. And this aggregation account, NBA Central, seems to exist to incite flames amongst people out there consuming NBA media. And up until now, I don't think I ever thought that they were like specifically there to troll a certain subset of the basketball watching population. And them putting out this tweet in which they're trying to incite, a lot of, like, get people really upset that Brian Windhorst called Russell Westbrook a journeyman. I think they're in on the joke, and I now believe that this is a troll account. So, Shawn, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think NBA Central is less of a troll account and more of an engagement account, which is what all these aggregator accounts are. So I think that they're there's a fine line between engagement bait and rage bait, and there's another fine line between rage bait and trolling. And they have told that very line. So I wouldn't think they're trolling, but I think they're definitely, at the bare minimum, they're trying to get clicks and engagement, which is,
of course.
Yeah. I don't know if I call them a troll account.
Jeff, you side with me here? Or you with
well, I based on what I've seen from Central, first, if you're talking about Centel, yes.
Well, Centel is that's
Centel
that's
is
A plus
certified
material,
unequivocal, pinnacle of pissing people off, right?
Because this isn't a hot take from Windhorst that Russell Westbrook is a journeyman. He literally was out of a job until what's today? October. He signed 17th. When we did the first show. He was out of a job until October 15th.
So you're saying that by stating
Windhorst,
by putting Windhorst comments in an aggregation model, they are trolling.
Because they know that there is a subset of NBA fans out there who still look at Russell Westbrook as the MVP and Mr. Triple-Double and a guy who's like an actual good player, as opposed to somebody who, like, a subset of every fan base, it gets petrified whenever they think about him on their team. And so I think maybe troll is the wrong word, but like going for the lowest common denominator of NBA fans.
It's engagement baiting. Okay. That's what it is. Because I don't think all engagement baiting is trolling.
Fair.
I don't think all
engagement baiting is trolling. That's a good distinction, though.
Yes.
But all trolling is engagement baiting.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
All trolling is engagement baiting.
Any type of trolling is engagement baiting, but I don't think every type of engagement bait is a troll. Okay. So like anytime LeBron opens his mouth, you're going to see quote cards all over the internet. You're going to see his quotes everywhere, no matter what he says. That is a form of engagement baiting.
Correct.
You want people to interact with your post. And what do? You press the LeBron button. But if LeBron says, LeBron
we should have a LeBron button on our phone.
That's what they do. So it's like, for example,
passive aggressiveness.
If LeBron says this season, I'm getting too old for this shit, it's going to be a quote card. You're going to see it on every major platform. I don't think that's trolling. That's to say like, yo, hey, LeBron keeping it real about his age. I'm getting too old for this shit. That's not trolling. He said it, matter of fact, and it's going to be engagement bait because what? People are going to post it anytime a meme situation occurs where you can apply that quote to almost anything. You're going to drop that quote card. It's a form of engagement baiting. So I don't think it's necessarily trolling. Now, the journeyman designation, it can incite things. It can incite things. But if Windhorst believes it, I don't think he's saying it to piss people off. I think that's what he believes.
Shawn?
This will be Russell Westbrook's 6th different NBA team in the last 6 seasons.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. Yeah.
Like, if that's not, like, if he's not a journeyman, he's on one hell of a journey. Well, and go ahead.
No, I was going to say.
I was going to say that there's a difference between being Anthony Bourdain and being somebody, a regular person, a broke person with a passport. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of journeys are you taking?
But you know what it is? You brought up a good point that the term journeyman invokes this negative connotation. The same way how, shout out to Bomani Jones, he says, like, how mid invokes a negative connotation. When mid doesn't mean bad, it literally means mid, like, like
mid-level.
Mid-level. And I mean, and
that's
if you know
a lot of money in the NBA.
But if like, the original term mid is like mid, well, you got some smoke some mid, all right, whatever, right? It's the same way how
2 Americas.
You know what that you never.
I know what it is. Some people may not.
Look, but the same way how the term role player generates a negative connotation. If you call someone role player, people be like, "Oh, you're bad." No. You're a role player. That doesn't mean you're bad. You're just not a star or a superstar, but you're a role player. But if you call certain people role players, people, especially if they're your fave, people get all upset. It's like, no, but like for example, Josh Hart is a role player, right? That doesn't.
Yes.
He's a star in his role. Doesn't mean he's not bad at basketball.
So,
but some people feel type of way about that.
I think the genesis of this exact discussion, which should make this conversation interesting, is that I think once someone is identified by the populace as a star player, you can never refer to them as anything other than a star player without coming off as a hater. I think the best example, and who's someone who's not as of right now on an NBA team, is Ben Simmons. And that's a whole nother reason why I thought the Central account might have been trolling this summer with the constant updates of Ben Simmons as if he is still a relevant guy, but I digress. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to now, how do you define a star? I went with the top 75 all-time players. We are going to rank the most, or try to determine who is the most transient star in the history of the league. Now, Lee on Twitter, shout out to Lee, longtime follower of KFS, brought up a good point, which is that, well, if someone spends the bulk of their career when they're very good with one team, does that still make them transient? To which I was like, okay, that's an interesting point. So like someone, he's not going to be a part of this discussion, but Kevin Durant, I would say, or James Harden, or even Dennis Rodman, another NBA top 75er. Would you define Kevin Durant as a transient star? Jeff, what do you think?
Nah, I don't think I would.
Okay.
Because he played a majority of time in OKC, was at Golden State for a presidential term, right? Then what? He went to Brooklyn, and then that has an asterisk because he spent a year out the league because of his Achilles. Was at Brooklyn for a while, got traded to the Suns, and now is on. I think in this era, it's more common for player movement.
Okay,
so
that's
that
fine.
threshold for transient. And I like think about it like this: you talking about the journeyman, transient star, whatever. I think there's a difference between Jeff Green and Russ.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, to me, Jeff Green is the definition of I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Like I'm renting. I'm renting. I'm not buying. Like I'm here every year. I'm going to a different team, especially post OKC. It was like who he played for, right? At one point. So I think there's going to be a lot of factors that go into where what you consider I think transient is more is a better euphemism than journeyman, if that makes sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So let's get into this list. We're going to save Russ for last. Mm-hmm. So here, my threshold, and again, I went through the top 75, and I went and looked for anybody who made the NBA's top 75 all-time list, and that was a member of at least 7 different professional basketball teams. Just missing the cut, by the way, Shaquille O'Neal was a member of 6. Wow. Funny story. Do you know who, in his second to last year in the league at 37 years old, was the second leading scorer for the 2010 Cavs in their playoff loss to the Boston Celtics?
Wally?
No.
2000, what year?
It's, guys, I'm giving it to you on a freaking tee. It's Shaq.
It wasn't Shaq.
It was Shaq. 13.5 points per game in the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals. Just ahead of, I think it was either Mo Williams or Delonte West.
And people wonder why LeBron left Cleveland.
There you go. Exactly. So Shaq gets an honorable mention here. The first guy that we're going to talk about is someone that is near and dear to our heart. At least my heart, because I'm not a hater, but we'll see. You know, maybe somebody else on this panel is, and that is a gentleman by the name of Carmelo Anthony. So if you're watching on YouTube, you see a jersey in front of you that bears Carmelo Anthony's name, although Carmelo Anthony never wore it because it's a Hawks jersey. So Carmelo Anthony is the one asterisk to the people that we're going to talk about right now, because he only actually played for 6 NBA teams. Of course, the Nuggets, Knicks, OKC, Rockets, Portland, Lakers. But he was also a member of the Atlanta Hawks and one other team that if either of you know who this team was, I will be beyond impressed.
Utah?
No, good guess because they're coming up soon, but no, not the Utah Jazz.
Hold on, wait. Oh, I feel like I know this. Wait a minute. Oh man.
Think of teams he almost went to at some point.
Houston.
Chicago?
But who said Jeff?
Chicago?
So Carmelo Anthony was a member of the 6 teams he played for, plus the Bulls, plus the Hawks. Both of those teams acquired his contract at various points and then waived him. So Carmelo Anthony has 8 different franchises to his name, and he is actually, believe it or not, the only NBA player to make the top 75 list that has, again, 8 franchises tagged to him on his basketball reference page. So Carmelo Anthony is candidate number 1 for this award. Candidate number 2 for this award is a gentleman by the name of Moses Malone. So you can see I put together a little photographic here for Moses. Moses played for 7 NBA teams. He played for the Sixers twice, and then he also played for the Utah Stars and Spirits of St. Louis with the ABA. So right off the bat, between Moses and Melo, who do you think gets the edge?
I would say Moses, because I think Moses, like, very early in his career, was moving around a lot. I actually remember Moses on the Spurs. It's crazy. He had like a half-court shot one day in like 93.
I remember that.
And I'm like, yo, he's still in the league?
One arm heave, like it was nothing.
That's how
like
old I am.
Old man strength type.
Yes. That's how old I am. I remember watching Moses Malone play basketball. I would give it to Moses.
I would. Jeff, you agree with that?
I do, only because that man went through 2 different leagues. He not only traveled in the NBA, he traveled in the ABA as well. Like, yeah, and 7 teams. You go to one team twice.
He was never any place. Is the other thing. Moses Malone was never any place for longer than 5.5 seasons. Like, he never made it to through a full 6th season. The only other guy on our list, and I actually don't have a photographic for him, unfortunately, is Bob McAdoo, who never made it past 4.5 seasons. He played with the Buffalo Braves, Knicks, Celtics, Pistons, Nets, Lakers, and Sixers. Here's what makes Bob McAdoo interesting. Do you know what Bob McAdoo did after he left the NBA? That man went overseas. A good guess. Maybe he was a doctor. I don't know. And played for 7 different teams in the 3 different teams over 7 years in the Italian league because he just couldn't get enough. And he finally retired from professional basketball at 41 years old. So that's 10 different franchises, 3 in Italy, 7 in the NBA for Bob McAdoo.
Yeah, you left the country, dog. Like, you're definitely like, you left the country and played
for putting him above Moses?
Italy. So I looked up the definition of transient.
Okay.
And the definition of transient, as according to Oxford Dictionary, is as an adjective form lasting only for a short time, impermanent. And as a noun form, like if you call someone a transient, it's a person who is staying and working in a place for only a short time. So I say that to say one person may not begin as transient, but it sure as hell can end as transient. And that not playing, and that is as transient as it gets.
that is a literal globetrotter, bro. Yeah. Like a literal globetrotter.
Yeah, no, he was. Speaking of literal globetrotters, our next contender here, gentleman by the name of Dominique Wilkins, who was certainly not transient for the beginning of his career. You can see a picture here with his brother. But here's how the last few years of Dominique Wilkins' NBA career went. After he was traded to the Clippers, he then went and played for the Boston Celtics for a year. He then went to Greece, won the championship in Greece, then came back to the NBA, played 1 year in San Antonio, finished 7th and 6th man of the year voting. Then he left the country again, went and played in Italy for a season, and then he came back to play with his brother in Orlando, averaged 5 points a game, and then he retired. I would proffer to you that especially if we're focusing on like the tail end of a career, I think Dominique Wilkins, because of the multi-transatlantic flights, I think he has to go above McAdoo. I think he has to go above Moses. I think he has to go number 1 on the list so far.
You know what? I'll allow it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cases. I feel like the fact that McAdoo went to one country and played for 3 teams over 7
He just
years.
stayed over there.
That he did stay over there. For Neek to go to Greece, win a chip, and then come back, and then go back to Italy. So that means if they was playing Eurobasket, he was on 2 different teams in that competition and whatnot. Like, to go back and forth, that's a strong case. That's a strong case for most transient stars, especially when if you told somebody this Dominique Wilkins lore, it might blow their brain.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know he played for the Hawks. I know he played for the Spurs, but what? He went to Greece and then he went to Italy?
Yeah, I remember his Spurs season, which was, by the way, the last year before Tim Duncan. And the dude could still get buckets. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't quite a keep getting him check situation, but it was very interesting to see Neek in those particular uniforms. One more left, and then we're gonna get to Russ. I feel bad putting this person's name in here, but you kind of have to, and that's Chris Paul.
Oh yeah.
7 different NBA franchises, about to go on his second stint with the Clippers, and I found this in his rookie year. Chris Paul actually played in not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different home arenas, because that was when the Hornets were the New Orleans / Oklahoma City Hornets. And they were moved around a lot because of Hurricane Katrina's show. He's moved around a lot, but I think really for me, this comes down to Russ and Neek. So Russ, here's my number one thing with Russ. So this is his 7th NBA team, but hold on, not that one. But then we have this, which is a stat that I don't think any NBA player will ever supersede, which is that Russell Westbrook has been on the Jazz twice, been traded to the Jazz twice without ever playing a game for the Utah Jazz because they waived him both times. Should that not count for something in this discussion?
I love how the Jazz treat Russ like he's on the river Styx and he's going to the underworld. And it's just like, yo, I know you cannot stay in this part of the underworld. Please pass go. He's not trying to stay, and the toll man is trying to keep him going. So that's wow. That is a fantastic stat. If more than anything, it tells me Russ would rather not play a single game of basketball than to have to play a single game of basketball in the state of Utah.
Would you want to play a single game of basketball in the state of Utah?
I've never been to Utah.
You've never been to Utah? I drove through Utah when I drove cross country before law school. It's a lot of nothing.
All-Star was there, and I was like, respectfully declined.
I have been
not
to
my
Utah.
vibe.
I went to Utah for work last April, and let's just say, beautiful backdrop, beautiful mountains. No reason for me to ever go back unless the Knicks are playing in the finals against the Jazz, which means, again, there will be no reason for me to go back.
Like, honestly, the All-Star game was one of those reasons where I said, if I'm ever going to go to Utah, it's going to be for an event.
Yeah.
So if it was All-Star weekend, I was going to go, and then it didn't happen. So
I would like, one of my goals is someday see an NBA game in every NBA arena. My wife and I before we had kids, we did 3 baseball stadiums per summer, and I think we kept that up for 3 or 4 years, and then children happened. But yeah, I'd like to go to all the NBA arenas just because I don't know. I feel like it'd be a different experience, and there's a lot I haven't been to. Utah seems like an interesting place to go watch a basketball game.
Oh yeah. If I skied, I probably would have went to Utah many a time. Like if I skied like that, probably.
Yeah, I don't ski. You'll never see me on
exactly. So
okay. Anyway, all right. So let's get to the main topic of the day here, which again is Russell Westbrook on the Kings. There we go. And the Kings are maybe not in the best state of affairs for that. I will just say before we get into specifics of this, the news came out live on the show when we were doing it the other day. Having had a little bit of time to think about it, Shawn, what is your impression of where the Kings are at right now as a franchise?
The Sacramento Kings are who we thought they were. Simple as that. We thought the Kangs would stop kanging, and for a year they didn't kang.
Shout out Mike Brown.
And listen, if De'Aaron Fox doesn't break his hand or have a fracture in his hand in that series against Golden State, maybe they win. And if Steph doesn't go for 50 in Game 7, maybe they win, and we look at things differently. But that taste of success was not enough to prevent the Kangs from kanging. And all summer, the fact that we all read reports about how the Kings were actively trying to figure out how to acquire Russell Westbrook, even if it came at the expense of trading or releasing Malik Monk.
They were trying to move Monk. That was the rumor.
Yeah,
They were trying to get rid of Monk, who is unquestionably a better basketball player than Russ Westbrook, but I digress.
It's the Kangs are kanging. And I will always remember you on a podcast with, I believe, Channing Frye in the summer of 2020. And that was the whole should the Knicks sign Russ?
Oh yeah, remember that was a big thing.
That was a thing, and I was like, absolutely not. And that was 6 years ago.
And we did it again this past summer.
No, y'all did it again. I did not. I was like, I tapped. No.
It was a topic of his name was reported in connection to the Knicks. It's not like we made it up.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. They discussed it.
Okay.
I did not discuss anything.
All right, Jeff, what did you think of what my guy Zach Lowe had to say about Russell or about the Kings? I don't even think this was like specific.
I hate this team. I hate this roster. I hate the vibes. I hate everything. I hear this in Zach Lowe's voice. It makes it even.
Don't forget the Hindenburg line. The Hindenburg line's pretty good too. This is the Hindenburg of NBA teams.
NBA teams this year.
Yeah.
The Hindenburg is crazy.
It's not something
I think I said it to Shawn offline. I've been saying this has been my stumping point for this Kings team. I am happy Russell Westbrook has a job. I do not know what the hell they are cooking in the capital of California. I do not know what they are cooking for real, because it's even looking at the depth chart, I'm assuming, and at this point, it has to be straight assumption that a fact that Russ is coming off the bench, and it is going to be this depth chart that I see that it's Schroeder, Ellis, Levine, DeRozan, and Sabonis. That to me is a fire Lifetime Fitness run squad. Like you just going out there getting pickup buckets. That seems like a fire squad. I don't know how that works. It's literally like you have 3 players who have the same mentality when they play. You only have one ball to go around. I think Sabonis can still be the facilitator that he's going to be. I don't know how the spacing is going to work. I don't know how the defense is going to work. I just don't know what they're cooking. It just seems like an imbalanced team. Like those guys, this may be the team that I'm looking at as the prime candidate for standardized parts around the league. Everything must go big box. It's like Crazy Eddie. Everything must go. Everything must go. Sell a straight sell off of those players in a buyout market or in trades.
Jeff, I hate to do this to a small business, but there is so I moved out to Long Island. There is a store, a furniture store, not far from me. Should I say the street that it's on?
No,
I wouldn't. Don't do that.
No, not worth it.
It's a
Anytown,
furniture
USA.
Store. Anytown, USA. It's a furniture store, and there's a giant sign that's been across the front of it. Everything must go like 70% to whatever percent off. And so one day, because we obviously moved into a new house, we're looking for furnishing for the house. But I went to my wife. I'm like, let's go inside and see what they have. It is as if everything in the store was like on the set of Goodfellas from when that movie came out in 1990. Like Karen, could have Karen Hill at 100%. I'm convinced sat on the sofas there, put down a martini glass on the.
Were they still in plastic?
There. Oh my God. Some of the things were it's A1. All glass. It's glass mirroring. Like, so there was more silver there than in like the greatest silver mine in history. I've never seen anything like it. So yeah, everything must go from the Kings. Possibly. That's great. They still got to find someone to take any of these people. And it's funny because the best trade chip they had, Keegan Murray, they just signed him to a contract that, like, I gave it a little shit on Twitter, 5 years, $140 million. It's whatever. It's the going rate for like young two-way wings with upside. But at the same time, like, who's going to be banging down their door to trade for that? So they don't have anything that anybody wants. So I don't know what's their out. They have no out.
Unless they want to get rid of Keon Ellis. Do they want to get rid of Keon Ellis?
Well, he'll start for as long as Murray's out, but yeah. I don't know. Shawn, if you had to take one player on the Kings roster to play for your basketball team that you root for, who would it be?
Oh,
put aside fit, just like not on the Knicks, like just you have to take one of these players.
Oh, it's the Maple Mamba himself, and it's not even close. Keegan Murray. No, excuse me, the Maze Mamba. No, he's the Maze Mamba.
The Maze Mamba.
RJ
Barrett's the Maple Mamba.
Yeah, he's the Maple Mamba. The Maze Mamba, Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray. Like, it's not even close. It's
even with the contract, it's not even close.
28, I think $28 million a year in a world where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be making $81 million in 3 years is because the key for these contracts that, like, these non-max contracts that aren't tied to a percentage of the cap. Which means they don't go up the number will increase, but the number will not increase like guaranteed 8% every year, whatever, right?
Yes.
So that the cap will outpace the contract. So yeah, absolutely.
Are you taking contact into account with that?
We taking what in?
With your choice, Shawn? Are you taking contract into the equation?
You have to.
Yeah, but I mean,
okay. Because I just thought, like, team be damned, contract be damned. If it's one player that you want, because I can hear people screaming Sabonis from the heavens. But
so if the put Murray and even put Keon Ellis aside, because I think a lot of I like Keon Ellis. I remember talking about him as a possible trade target like last season. If we're just talking about the bigger money guys, I guess. Let's say Schroeder is DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Sabonis. If you want to throw Russ in there, I don't care. But I got to tell you, out of those four, I would take DeRozan because I think DeRozan could still be an incredibly helpful player if he's willing to come off the bench for 25 minutes a game. The only problem is on that basketball team, he is, I don't know, maybe the most. I mean, again, like say the best offensive player. Sabonis is the best offensive player. Do you really want to deal with the compromises that come with having Sabonis on your team? Because I know I would not want that.
I hear you.
We have Sabonis at home.
Right.
You already have Sabonis at home.
I didn't say that.
I
did not. I wanted noted for the record that Shawn's voice is not mine.
I like the DeRozan pick because that's where I was going to lead. Because if I'm thinking about a team that needs bench playoff scoring, that's a professional, bro. Like, that's somebody that you could count on to get you buckets, keep the game close, do whatever it is off the bench, and he's going to be better than a lot of people coming into those second units. So yeah, I appreciate DeMar DeRozan's game and what he could contribute, but it's once again, it's like, well, how much longer can he contribute at that level? Is he willing to come off the bench? Like, those are the questions that you got to ask. But
I was about to say,
I don't think
don't laugh at this. Well, first of all, DeMar DeRozan's making a Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't think that's crazy.
Well, he is. I was about to say, what are the odds of him making the NBA's top 100 list in whatever 20 years? I would try to think of how many points he would, like, what would he need to get up to on the all-time scoring list? He would need to play for another 7-8 years and get like in the top 15, 10 all-time scoring to be in consideration for that list. This is if people listening to this are like DeMar DeRozan, one of the 100 greatest players ever. Go look at how many points this man has scored. If he decides to keep playing and make himself an entrant into the journeyman transient conversation we have in a decade, he could get very high up there. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm looking at the career leaders for points.
He's 25th.
He's 28th. He's 28th all time. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 among active players.
Dude. And he's still got game. If he wants to go the transient route, DeMar DeRozan could absolutely play another 5-6 years. He could be like Jamal Crawford. Come off the bench for like a team, score 10, 12, 15 points a night. 100%.
He's 4,000. He's about 4,000 points behind someone you mentioned earlier, Moses Malone, for 10th all time.
4,000 points? That's it?
Yes, he's 4,000 points.
Oh,
DeMar's
dude.
at 25, 292. Moses is at 29, 580.
Get Fanatics on the phone. I want a line on whether that I could bet on today that DeMar DeRozan will eventually pass Moses Malone in all-time points. Okay, let's do the down bad rankings. I don't know that there's a better name for it. So I'm gonna just throw up a couple tweets here. These are not only from Kings fans, but these are from Kings like content creators. So I mean that's where we're at right now. So we got this one. This is Professor Oak. Shout out to Professor Oak on Twitter. The Kings are a walking dead man. The buzzards are circling, waiting for the body to die so they can pick at the corpse at the trade deadline, parentheses, or earlier. That's number one. Number two, this is, again, I think this is from someone at the Kings Herald, Carmichael Dave. Shout out to Carmichael. People wonder why I'm so frustrated. We gave up an unprotected pick swap to facilitate the Barnes DeRozan move with the Spurs, and then months later, in taking on a toxic deal, the Levine contract, for our biggest trade chip, we couldn't even get it back. Worse than Bagley over Doncic. And then I think this one might be my favorite one. This is courtesy of Akis. This is in reaction to the Russ signing. This is the least excited I've been for a Kings season possibly ever. Now, keep in mind.
That's saying something.
That is, I was about to say, is that not saying something?
That's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot. Because the Kings stayed in obscurity in Sacramento for decades and avoided the slander of being the worst team over those past times. So
they've been for 15 straight years until Mike Brown broke the streak.
Yes. They have one playoff appearance since the Bush administration. Like
you called me as I was taking a sip of water.
So for that fan to be like, you know what? And Jeff brings up a good point. The Kings avoided a lot of the smoke that other bad teams in the NBA got. I'm not going to call out any teams in particular, but it goes to like what the league, like it's Sacramento, you know, no disrespect. I mean, this is what it is, but like the Kings are listen, I like to get a rise out of people. I like to rage bait, engage in bait, troll, whatever. They're the team I leave alone because they are the New York Knicks of the Western Conference historically, this decade, yes. This century. And it's just like I always say deserve, don't got nothing to do with it. Shout out to the Wire, but like they deserve better. Like they deserve better.
I always come back to what are you selling? To go back to my friends at the furniture store from before. They are at least selling something. There is someone theoretically who might walk in there and buy what they have to sell. Just like theoretically, because Zach LaVine has a player option next year. Let's say Zach LaVine comes out and he's averaging an efficient 25 a game this year. You know, I suppose there's all it takes is one asshole, one other NBA team who would look at that and be like, you know what? That's better than the bad contract we currently have. Let's give up an asset to get LaVine on our roster. I don't know who that team would be. My question is more like, what are you selling to your fans? And like, if I was a Wizards fan or a Jazz fan or what other dog shit team that I might forget? Oh, the Nets we're going to talk about in a minute. There's at least something being sold to me. It is the promise of I don't know who the first the potential first pick in the draft is this year. I'm assuming he's good. Like that is being sold to me. And then there's a bunch of other teams. They're either like the Magic. Shout out to all of our Magic fans out there who should definitely keep watching this podcast. They are selling like this is the year before the year, right? Like we're gonna put a scare into one of the East favorites. Who knows? Maybe we even mess around and go to the finals. Like, what are the Kings selling to their fans other than maybe our owner gets so frustrated with the situation he says screw it and sells the team? Because that was what it was for the Knicks fan for me for years. That's really literally what it felt like, and I think it's the same situation for them.
Go ahead, Shawn.
I think ownership, and I'm laying this at the feet of Vivek, no one else, not the general manager.
It's Vivek.
It's Vivek.
Yeah.
I think Vivek wants to, man, like the parallels between him and Dolan, where like Dolan Dolan was fine making the playoffs. Like, let's get into the playoffs and we'll just do it by amassing talent. I think their goal.
And they couldn't even do that right.
Yeah, I think Vivek is selling that this is going to be a playoff team, not like a top 6, 7, 8 team, which it would be in 2014.
Well, they have better odds of doing it in 2014. Yeah, I guess that's what they're selling. But like, I don't know. NBA fan bases are so sophisticated now. I just don't know if the market is there. I will give a shout out though. There was one individual out there who loved not like the Russ, loved the Russ trade, and I'm gonna put his tweet up here right now. And I don't know if either of you guys recognize who this gentleman is who tweeted this out.
I do not.
Jeff, do you recognize the name?
Mo Moonsey.
Yes, Mo Moonsey. So Mo Moonsey tweeted out in response to the Russ signing. Great ad to mentor the young guys and light a competitive fire in the locker room. Still produces at a high level, experienced leader. You're seeing the culture start to shift. Sounds like Mo Moonsey is saying something here. You may notice his tag or his handle there. Hoops Genius. Do you know what the Hoops Genius is?
No.
I've heard of it.
It's a podcast that has been around for several years. And you may have noticed clips from the Hoops Genius going around occasionally on Twitter, because after he was relieved of his duties or exited or whatever, was no longer with the New York Knicks, Scott Perry was a regular weekly or bi-weekly guest on the Hoops Genius up until he went and became, I actually should have looked this up. I think it's the general manager is his title of the Sacramento Kings. He might be the president of basketball operations. But all I got to tell Mo is, Mo, stand up for your guy. I love it. Like, what is the purpose of being in the world if we can't have friends who stand up for us? So shout out to Mo. That's all I'm going to say about that. What candidates do you think we should put for the other fan bases who might be as down bad as Kings fans? I will turn to you first, Jeff.
Do they have to have a fan base for this to count?
Okay. So preach.
So if that is negligible, then I put the Nets up there.
I've said some things about the Nets over the years. I don't know how much more trouble I want to get in with Nets with
with all 25 of them?
No, 87.
So hold
87.
on. It was 87.
You're counting the kids.
It was 87, and that was until no, hold on, not this one. Here we go. That was until, and this is a tweet from Nets Daily. The Nets are pausing for this season the BK Block, a dedicated fan section that hosted the Brooklyn Brigade the last 7 seasons. The Brigade will continue, but not the section. Team officials and fans will participate in the revamp to rebuild the program, says Nets. So I just want to make sure I get this straight, that something called the BK Block, which is by definition a section for fans in the arena, is going to still exist, but the section won't exist. But BK Block will still exist. I read this several times, and I feel like I have a decent education behind me, and I could, I'm smart. And I couldn't make heads or tails of this other than the Brooklyn Nets have nobody to go to their games, even their most dedicated fans. Is that unfair of me?
Yes. Here's what I think. Here's why I think.
Speak on it.
I think the problem is, like, if you didn't have people to go to your games, wouldn't you create a section? And because I don't know if the Brooklyn Brigade was paying for seats or if they were getting comped. I don't know. But if you had trouble getting fans to go,
well,
you would make, because I know, for example, there in Milwaukee, there's a theater deer section. And like if you're in there, you have to stand, you can't sit down, you have to be hooting, hollering, right? I think the Brooklyn Nets have many issues. I don't think finding people to go to their games is one of them. Finding fans is another thing, but finding people
this is about finding fans. And okay, so let's say they have to pay for these tickets. So they can't find fans to pay for the tickets. Let's say they're giving the tickets away for free. They can't find dedicated people to actually go and root for the team vociferously? Like, Jeff, what am I missing here?
I don't think you're missing anything. It wouldn't be the first time when Harden and KD and Kyrie were on the team. Harden was outside of the Barclays Center peddling tickets like he was trying to raise money for uniforms for the Nets. I thought he had block candies and all of that. Like,
did he walk up to you trying to sell you Welch's fruit snacks and
the fruit snacks, some candy bars and all of that. Like, and I vividly remember this where they were giving those tickets out still when you had 3 of the top players in the league on your team at the same time. I'm just shocked that Nets Daily is tweeting about the Nets. First off, that's the most shocking thing about that tweet to me, because usually it is Knicks out of that account. So I am shocked that they're tweeting about the Nets. And yeah, man, I'm just mad that this is what we lost Models for across the street.
I know. I like that Models too.
This is what we gave up a staple of downtown Brooklyn for. That training center better be fire. And if the Liberty use it, so I know it's going to be fire.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to go too hard on Nets Daily, who's been a nice back and forth partner for Knicks fans over the years. But they're like, I'll put it up. They're apparently going after some of their own. And
be real. I know real Nets fans. Like me and Shawn, we got friends that are real Nets fans. Yeah. We got friends that are real Nets fans. They are never included in this. They're actually disgusted by what's happening with the fan base, in general.
So the people that you know, which of these two factions? Again, this is from Nets Daily. Nets Twitter has become shorthand for a group of generally but not exclusively negative feeds whose combined number of followers would amount to a little more than half of Nets Daily's, which last I checked yesterday is over 65,000. So listen, they're showing me it's a lot more than 87. We are Nets Twitter. So there is a literal war going on within the Nets fan base, which I find to be just absolutely riveting.
So, first of all, Jeff, you excluded the other thing that Nets Daily tweets about, which is attendance numbers.
Yes, they do. They're big on the attendance. I forgot.
They're big on attendance numbers and how more people show up at Barclays than Madison Square Garden. Like, I give a flying you know what. No, there is a civil war within Nets Twitter, and I think the line of demarcation is if you still believe in Shawn Marks, because there are a lot. Like, for example, the real Nets fans that we know, shout out to Cash, shout out to Malika, shout out to even Brooklyn Netcast and Saint. Like, they have wanted Shawn since the Big Three debacle, the greatest he never was. They have wanted this guy out of here. But there are other Nets fans that are drinking the Kool-Aid of Shawn Marks and Joe Tsai to the point where, and I think honestly, a lot of it is so many of them spent years looking down the Knicks because they thought the championship was coming. As I said it for years, they thought multiple parades down Flatbush. And now it's like, how do we save face? Like, so many Nets fans are buying into like all these, like, their draft, and like they drafted
Yeah.
a whole bunch of guards who were like
Yeah.
between the ages of 19 and 21 years old, and like, and it's like the future's so bright. We have all these picks and whatever, and it's like, dog. And you know, they're the ones that think like Cam Thomas could be like. I've had Nets fans tell me that why can't Cam Thomas be a number one? Look at Jalen Brunson; they're the same height. Someone has told me that.
I'm sure there's someone out there who is saying that, but it's
said it on Rihanna's internet too. To me, yeah, like there's absolutely a civil war within, and the vibes are like, because like to your point, like yes, I could sell you on we'll get the first pick in the draft, but if I'm a Nets fan, like Cash will say, well, guess what? We should have had it last year, but our coach is too good, and we didn't do anything to change it.
I can't believe I'm going to be the one to say this. I think it's clearly the Kings are down worse than the Nets for two main reasons. One, the Kings had something real and completely frittered it away without any, like nothing like happened that caused the Beam team to turn into what is now existing in Sacramento. Whereas the Nets, like, yeah, you could question how good of a general manager Shawn Marks is, but like the Kyrie thing that was like, look, it happened. What were they really going to do about it? And then since then, it's been like, look, they've gotten unlucky. They've had some, Ben Simmons like stop being a basketball player, and they have a good coach. If like one of these 5 kids they just drafted in the first round pans out as a real guy, and they have all the picks from the Knicks. And like, hey, man, historically, betting against the Knicks isn't exactly bad business, at least not over the last 25 years, well, up until the last few years. So I don't know. I think it's the Kings clearly, but Jeff, I'll let you be the tiebreaker here.
Yeah, when you put it like that, I think that the Kings suffered from trade machine syndrome. They had a good thing going, and they kept what-ifing themselves and deluding themselves into thinking that they were a Zach LaVine away or DeMar DeRozan away from contention, when the way was to keep what you have going. And ironically, especially being in a Knicks town, ironically, maybe you keep the coach that you have and you build with what you have and see where you're going to go, right? Like I didn't feel like, yeah, I gotta go with the Kings. Net slander and banter aside, I do have to go with the Kings only because they did have a good thing going. Like I said it. The Beam, I put it on record. The Beam was the greatest current gimmick in the NBA when it came out. You either wanted, if your hated rival was playing against the Kings, you wanted that Beam to go up. If you were playing against the Beams, the Kings, you wanted the Beam shut down. Like light the Beam. Like when you have a gimmick like that, that means you have a certain energy around your team and an excitement. And to fritter it away just to chase the white whale of stardom, this is the pros and cons. This is the risk that you have when you do those type of deals.
It was the Beam was the opposite of Heat culture on the court.
Yes.
Spelling it out in the free throw lane, which was like, that took something that was genuinely cool. And like, again, I probably have more respect for the Heat than anybody on our network, but like, and you turned it into a punching bag. Or you turned yourselves into a punch bag. The Kings thing, that was just like somebody thought of that in some meeting somewhere, and I hope that person has gotten several raises and promotions. But still, it was like a great idea.
Beam culture is crazy. I kind of miss. I'm gonna miss Beam culture.
Man, Heat culture. We're running low on time. Anybody? So other teams that I thought should at least be mentioned. Sixers. It was announced today that Bob Myers is becoming. He's joining the group that owns the Sixers, and it seems like I don't know what that says for Daryl Morey's job security or what they're doing over there now. Yeah, we know how that goes in Philly. Not the first time something like this has happened. The Bulls. I feel like the Bulls need to at least be mentioned in this conversation. Anybody else? Anybody I'm missing?
Wizards?
No.
Honestly, man, if I was a Wizards fan,
they're not down bad though. They're just bad.
They're just bad.
Yeah,
but you know
bad.
What?
They're not down. They're just bad.
They understand the assignment. Like everyone,
I hear what you're saying.
Everyone, the fan base, the front office, everyone understands the assignment.
Same with the Jazz.
For the record, I don't think the Nets have a worse than the Kings. I think
okay, so we're unanimous.
Yeah, we're unanimous because, like, I think the Kings. Two things. One, the Kings didn't probably take the temperature of the league because that beam season they finished third with 48 wins and they thought they were on something. Again, they finished third in the Western Conference with 48 wins.
With 48 wins, which
48 wins.
This year might be like 7th or 8th or 9th or something.
The following year they had 46 wins. They finished 9th.
Yeah.
So they didn't take the temperature, right? And the other reason why is they had Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox on their team at the same damn time. And what do they have to show for it?
Yeah,
how you would have put look at this relationship and you lose both of
your No, it really is. You lose your wife and your Gumar at the both of them. Because you can't you get it's like you got your schedules mixed up and you showed up
to Lou Will, man.
Oh,
he would have said it straight.
And the Gumar knew there was going to be the Gumar and was fine with it. Like,
you mean the wife knew there was going to be the Gumar?
No. Fox
That's how it usually works. The wife has an idea, but it's just like don't rub my face.
Fox is the wife.
Fox is the wife, exactly.
Tyrese was the Gumar.
Yeah,
and
they couldn't balance it, so they're like, you know what? I'll dedicate myself to my marriage, and they sent away the better.
But what they did, Tyrese was the one was like, I know you're married. I still want you anyway. Please. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I should be able to, no matter what happens, I should be able to keep you no matter what. And then you decide, oh, you know what happened? They 80-20 themselves because they got rid of Tyrese for homeboy for Sabonis. And here we are.
Who's the second Gumar in this analogy? In Goodfellas, it's the one who he was making the cocaine with. Mm-hmm. There was it was like the Gumar on top of the Gumar. That's what we really need to get to the bottom of.
Yes.
Malik Monk, it feels like, is the most natural answer to that question. All right. Before we get out of here, this is going to be the first of what I hope will be many of these segments, which is some hate for Shawn. So I put out a little clip of Shawn trashing Paolo Banchero.
I did not trash him.
No, not trashing. You were just speaking the truth, not disrespectfully, just speaking the truth. And some Kings fans thought you were, maybe doing a little bit too much yapping.
Freudian slip. Magic fans.
Fans, excuse me. Oh, that is a Freudian slip. I don't know that I fear the Magic this year. I respect the Magic. I don't know that I fear the Magic, which is an important distinction. But moral of the story. Anybody out there who wants to give Shawn or any of us any hate for anything we say, please. We love that engagement. Not that we're trolling, but we do love the engagement. Anything else before we get out of here for the weekend?
Magic fans who are mad at me, prove me wrong. Simple as that. Because the 3 scariest words in the English language are I don't know, but they don't scare me. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But,
ready for the league to start, man. Ready for opening season, for opening night. And yeah, man, let's go.
I'm excited. Games start on Tuesday. I'm actually, you know what's I'll be honest. I'm bummed LeBron is out for the start of the season. I was looking forward to him suiting up with Luka for the Lakers on opening night. Because opening night's a special night. Those games should be great games, and we lost a little bit of the luster without LeBron.
Cavs Knicks. We're one stumble away from it being preseason.
Oh my God. I mean, look, the Knicks are playing their final preseason game 6.5 hours from now. Are we getting Pacom Dadier starting with Tyler Kolek?
I'll tell you this much: Huck Porty ain't gonna be sick tonight. Whatever he got, he's over it tonight. In two opportunities. Oh no, It's Huck time. If
Malcolm
the people are sitting, it's Huck time.
Yeah, Malcolm might have to unretire just for tonight. Then we need bodies.
Well, they
all right.
waived him along with like 15 other people in the course of 30 minutes. I want to know what type of money they was moving. Actually, let me not say that too loud before Pablo Torre get on that ass. Let me not say that too loud. I'm kidding.
They waived the guy who the PR account said we've waived. I forget which guy it was because they did like
Isaiah Roby.
I don't know if it wasn't Roby. It was somebody.
It was the one after where it was like in the span of 10 minutes.
Maybe it was. No, maybe it was Langford or Diallo.
Diallo is Diallo.
Okay,
because they signed him to the Exhibit 10 15 hours ago, and then they said 15 hours. Then they cut him like an hour later.
Yeah, whatever. Nick's front office always busy. Okay, Shawn, Jeff, we got through another one. That's two. Everyone little bit better. That's our goal here. Thanks everybody for checking out another episode of NBA Takedown. Don't forget, if you want to support our little endeavor over here, you can follow us wherever you get your social media. And of course, if you're digging the show so far, tell someone about it. Give us a nice review. Give us 5 stars if you are so inclined. We appreciate all those things, and we will continue to appreciate all those things moving forward. We'll be back with you on Monday, live at noon on YouTube. And then, of course, afterwards, wherever you get your podcasts. So everybody enjoy your weekend and take care.